Oh, hello. Can you hear me? His network, yes, is not. Hello there and welcome to Ilumba Television. My name is Angel Lady. Well, the past 2 weeks has been a rough one for Nigerians as the roads in different states have been blocked for the sake of protests for the end SARS and police brutality. The youth came out to say, no, we do not want this to happen again. We're done with bad governance. We want improvement in our society. We want to change. We want something new. We want to see things work. We want a society where every youth is free, has no police harassment, and is not unnecessarily imprisoned. Well, a lot of youth this support, and not just Nigerians right here and those in diaspora were so proud and happy about the organization of the protest as it was against expectations. Many were thinking it's going to be bloody or it's going to be rough, it's going to be disorganized and all of that. But even the international viewers and monitors could tell that the protest was very peaceful, well organized, and the youth were only saying one thing, and SARS. Well, it did graduate to that point when the youth increased the hashtag. The hashtag became end SARS, end police brutality, end bad governance, and all of that. Well, it was indeed an awesome one, and it also did show that the youths can coordinate themselves. The youths can decide on something, work in unity peacefully to achieve a common goal. However, some politicians did come in and wanted to be a part of the protest. But hey, this is what happened. The youth said, no, we don't want you guys in our protest. We want what we want and we know what we want. We're working towards it and we're going to achieve it. Now, let me quickly show you something from the screen. Right here, we see there was a place where on Twitter that Dino Melaye, former Senator Dino Melaye, did come up to say it's gone past time when the government can keep the powers down. Let's see what he says. He said, governments have no power in our extant laws to ban protests. So government must realize that the people have woken up from their slumber. Work with the people or welcome a revolution. SDN. All right, that's coming from former Senator Dino Melaye. Now, here's the response from Falls. Falls says, Falls, who has been at the forefront of the NSAS protest, shaded the ex-senator for his tweet. Falls responded saying that he should not pretend to be part of the protest and very soon the fight is going to be brought to them, being the politicians. Now, this is Falls' tweet. It says, Oga no dey form like say you dey with us. We go soon face on a matter. Hashtag NSAS. Alright, what's that Dino's response? Alright, guys, he didn't go further. Now, that's what happened on the protest, how the youths were going about that protest and the senators wanted to join in, but no, we don't want that. Now, this happened quite a while and the protest did continue, and at some point, the protest was stopped by the massacre at Lekki Toll Gate. And for these massacres, nobody's owned the responsibility or claimed responsibility for what happened at Lekki Toll Gate. However, we know that the governor of Lagos State has said that he was not responsible and he doesn't call the shots. Yes, he's got higher powers that will call shots concerning that. Let's look at it. Here we see, since the incident, the army has not offered any additional information other than the outright denial, and Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu has maintained that deployment of troops was beyond his powers. However, 81 Division spokesman Major Oshoba Olani said on Tuesday, 27th October, that troops were invited by the Sanwo-Olu-led government after he imposed a curfew last Tuesday. The decision to call in the military was taken by the Lagos State government after a 24-hour curfew was imposed. This was as a result of the violence which led to the several police stations being burnt, policemen killed, suspects in police custody released, and weapons scattered away. The situation was fast degenerated into anarchy. It was at this point that Lagos state government requested the military to intervene in order to restore normalcy, he said. Well, that's from the army. Let's go forward and see what response we've got from the army just dropped in about that. Stay with me here. Let's see what has the army to say about this. Okay, here we go. The response of Nigerian army is that concerning that. So here we see the Nigerian army has just admitted that it was invited to quell the chaos and violence in Lagos by the state governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu after a curfew was imposed smack in the middle of the #EndSARS protest. The army, however, said it did not shoot at any civilian at the Lekki toll gate on Tuesday, October 2020. Now, here are 5 things. The army says this is 5 things that you should know about it. The army says it is not interested in any coup. That's one. The army also did mention that there was a plot by sponsors of the EndSARS protest to rope the institution into their grand plot. That's the second thing the army wants you to know about it. This also said there was nothing like a massacre in Lekki. The army insists, and if there was one, the army was involved in it. The army wasn't involved in it, I beg your pardon. The third thing the army wants you to know is that there was nothing like a massacre in Lekki. The army insists, and if there was one, the army wasn't involved in it. All right, let's go further to the fourth thing the army wants you to know about the Lagos Lekki Tollgate massacre. It was the Lagos state government that invited the army over to help. So this means the army just went there to help the Lagos state government. Now let's look at the fifth thing that the army wants you to know about it. The army is aware that you have been reporting them to the International Criminal Court. Now, let's go into detail on that one. The Nigerian army doesn't like the fact that some of you have been reporting them to the International Criminal Court, ICC, at The Hague for human rights violation since the Lekki shooting. Army Chief Bertai told his men that none of the PSOs, GOCs, field commanders, and other officers and soldiers of the Nigerian army should be afraid of the ICC for carrying out their legitimate duties as stated in the 1999 Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, as amended, and other extant laws, rules, and regulations of Nigeria, because they fully abided by the internationally recognized rules of engagement as contained in our published standards operating procedures for internal security operations, which are derived from international human rights laws and are in accordance with the international principles guiding the use of force. There you have it. Okay, and that's it on what the army is saying concerning the Lagos massacre. All right, now let's go forward. Following the Lekki massacre, right after that one, the next day being on Wednesday, 21st of October 2020, Nigeria did experience major breaking into warehouses. A lot of youths did discover warehouses stored up with food items that belong to Nigerian youths or the Nigerian citizens, as it was boldly tagged COVID-19. And Nigerians from then had been going to different places to look for warehouses containing these palliatives. And of course, when they do discover, they break in, get away with everything there is in the warehouse. And some videos have said that in 2 hours, right after a warehouse is discovered, it's cleared, it goes empty. Well, we all know that the Minister of Humanitarian Affairs, Disaster Management and Social Development, Hajia Sadiya Umar Farouk, is responsible for humanitarian activities and affairs of the country. Now, accusations been going out saying she is responsible because she didn't send the food to the states and also give permission for the food to be shared to citizens. And of course, this has also its implications. But let's see what she has to say about it here. Minister of Humanitarian Affairs, Disaster Management and Social Development, Hajia Sadia Omar Farouk, says she has forgiven those who accused her of hiding COVID-19 palliatives meant for the poor. Did you see that? All right, let's go further. She stated this while fielding questions from journalists in Guzau on Monday in Guzau. She says in her own language, she says, I am aware many people have made various spurious allegations and accusations against my person and my ministry over the way we distributed federal government palliatives to cushion the effects of COVID-19. I have also said I'm carrying out my duties and responsibilities to the best of my ability and with fairness to all parts of the country. Now that they have realized their mistakes, I will only pray to God to forgive us all, she maintained. The news agency of Nigeria NAN reports that the minister had earlier paid homage to the Emir of Guzau, Alhaji Ibrahim Bello, where the monarch appealed to the federal government to take second look at the security situation in the state. Now that's from the Minister of Humanitarian Affairs saying, I have forgiven everyone who's accused me of hiding or keeping palliatives from the COVID-19 pandemic. All right, all of this has been going on. But here, there's something you should also see from Nigerians who are advising, because a lot of things did happen in the course of the protest. There was a fear that the protest was going to be hijacked. There was also fear that it will not yield. There were a lot of fears, and some Nigerians, some people did come up to give advices to Nigerians as to, or the youth protesting, as to how to go about it so that the protest would yield results. Now let's see what was advised to the Nigerian youth concerning the protests and how far they've come. Let's look at this one first. Here we go.
I started knowing about the battles of the oligarchy from the Ali must go crisis when we were very young. And then we had different issues with this country and with the leadership of this country. Even when Buhari came into power the first time, when he came to UBTH, when Dr. Scott Mwapa was rolling an empty trolley to go and meet him, then I was already a medical doctor and I was doing internship in the UBTH. The youths of today do not understand those they are dealing with. They are dealing with old warriors, old oligarchists who know how to fight. One of the things they are going to do is that they are going to use fear and intimidation. They might roll the army out very soon, and they will shoot a few youths dead to intimidate others to run into their shells. The next thing they will do is to start arresting people piecemeal by piecemeal. They will target somebody, arrest that person, target another person, arrest another person, and before you know it, fear will start creeping into the system. Then the next thing they do is assassination. Remember Kudirat? They will start eliminating people one after the other. Remember Kokori, Frank Kokori, and the rest that they arrested during the Nupen crisis, during June 12 crisis. They will start eliminating people one after the other, either by assassinating them, by imprisoning them. They will drive them out of the country. Remember Nadeko? They will run into exile. But if you don't give up, some of those oppressing people today are beneficiaries of the struggle of people like Enaoro and the rest others who did not benefit much from the struggle. And so, they will want to fight back. Another system they use is to get hungry young men and individuals who are instruments that suffer from the Stockholm syndrome I told you. Remember Abacha's crisis? There was one young Igbo boy. I can't remember his name. I think it's Kanu, that established one group. They went to Abuja, held conferences, held rallies to support Sani Abacha. But that was a great mistake they made. When they took Ijaw boys from the Niger Delta to Abuja, and they saw the beautiful houses in Abuja that were built with their oil money, they did not know they were provoking a crisis they could not manage. That was how men and other people came up, and then amnesty eventually came. The next thing they will do is that they will start settling some of the leadership. They will corner them, settle them, give them offices and all that. Give them money, give them promises. And then you will see people antagonizing each other. The next one they will do, and they're already doing it, is to play the North-South game. I saw some young men in the North with caps. They say they are youths. They say that they want SARS. They want SARS. I agree with you. It's a democratic setting. You have crisis in the North. But let me tell you, if the army could not defeat Boko Haram, SARS cannot defeat Boko Haram. Let me tell you the truth. Those young men or whoever who came with long caps, they are not the poor of the North. When I recorded here, they were northerners digging ridges for me. The poor of the North have no voice. They don't come on radio. They don't come on television. They can't even speak English. Let me tell you one thing. If you are in the North, they use you to fight your youths in the South. Poverty will not leave the North immediately. Poor education will not leave the North immediately. It is only the children of the rich that will benefit. Let me tell you another thing they will do. I saw some people in Sapele, people from my area, all irresponsible men saying that we want SARS, we want SARS. Maybe they don't have children who drive cars. Maybe they don't have children who have gone to universities. But the point remains, one day intimidation will come to them. If you support a tiger, if you feed a tiger, it will eventually eat you. The other system is that if they don't use the regional card, they will use the religious card. They will say it is Christians that are protesting. They will say it is Southern Christians that are protesting against the North. That is the divide and rule technique. It will not work in this era because in my time, there was no social media. There were no handphones. Today, everything is captured live. Today, the global arena is observing us and they are watching us. I want to suggest that the international community, United States of America, the UK, France, they should be watching. Any oppressor, deny him and his children visa, seize his assets overseas. Don't let them travel to your countries to come and enjoy democracy while they are killing us here. Seize their assets. Let's lock down these criminals of this nation inside this nation with us. We will see who will survive. God bless you. I remain your friend, Dr. Charles Apoki. The battle is just beginning. God bless you.
All right, that was Dr. Charles Apoki, and you heard from him direct. Does anything seem familiar? Now, this video did drop long ago, like while the protest was still in the heat of it, and you see some things are familiar, some of the rules that he did mention. Well, that's what happened. Okay, you're still listening, you're still viewing Elombe Television, and I am Angel Lady. Hey, run down to our Instagram and follow us. Also, like our Facebook page, subscribe to our YouTube channel, turn on the notifications so you don't miss any of our posts. Let's go some more. And like I told you, that there's an advice from Nigerians concerning the protest and how far we've come. Let's do the next.
Listen up, Nigerian youth. This is for anyone between 15.
All right, just a moment. Let me take that again. Okay.
40 in Nigeria. Make sure every Nigerian youth between 15 and 40 sees this video. I'm going to tell you two things that if you do them, you will win this battle. If you don't, forget it. Listen very carefully. Now, in 1999, a woman got married and she didn't have a baby for almost 2 decades. Eventually, she took in and something was in her stomach. Now, when she went...
All right, sorry, I just have to take that screen share again. I don't know. All right, so let's take it from tops. Here we go.
Listen up, Nigerian youth. This is for anyone between 15 and 40 in Nigeria. Make sure every Nigerian youth between 15 and 40 sees this video. I'm going to tell you two things that if you do them, you will win this battle. If you don't, forget it. Listen very carefully. Now, in 1999, a woman got married and she didn't have a baby for almost 2 decades. Eventually, she took in and something was in her stomach. Now, when she went to the hospital, incidentally, she delivered not a baby, but a fibroid. So, you see, a movement without strategy is like a pregnancy without a baby. A movement without strategy is like a pregnancy that produced a fibroid. That's what we witnessed in the past 2-3 weeks. Now, Pharaoh of Egypt, the ancient monarch, had a dream. NSAS protests and everything going on in Nigeria? A lot. Because there are two types of youth in Nigeria, as the past 2 weeks have demonstrated. So Pharaoh had a dream. He saw two types of cows. The first cow was scrawny, looking diseased, and then you could see the skeleton, of the cows. Very, very scrawny, like broomsticks. Then he saw another set of 7 cows, fat, well-fed, plump, horrible cows. But guess what? It was a scrawny cows that swallowed and ate up the fat cows. And after they swallowed and ate up the fat cows, they still remained like that. It's as if they hadn't even eaten anything. What does this mean? There are two kinds of Nigerian youth, as we've seen in the past 2 or 3 weeks. The first Nigerian youth, which I will call Youth 1, were the ones who started the NSAS protest. They organized that protest with class, so much so that everybody in the world was saying, I am proud of the Nigerian youth. They didn't destroy any car, they didn't destroy anybody's thing. They raised money for people in need. There was a young woman who had prosthetic legs or whose legs were cut off. They raised millions of naira on the spot for her. There was a woman, by the roadside who sold groundnuts or something like that. They raised more than 2 million naira on the spot by themselves. Somebody's car was broken. They raised money on the spot and did it. They were very peaceful. They were classy. They were, they organized entertainment. They organized food. They organized money. In fact, it baffled and terrified the government. So, that is Youth 1. And I'll call the Youth 1 builders. That's the name for their persona. They are builders. But there's Youth 2 in Nigeria. And these Youth 2 are the ones who took over after the Lekki toll gate shooting. They're the ones who are going around burning everything on their way, burning malls, destroying businesses that people borrowed money to buy, to build. They're the ones, attacking police stations and then taking guns, taking ammo from the armory. They're the ones, going to Thomas Estate to wage war with ordinary citizens who are also suffering like themselves. They're the ones that were recruited by security agencies, according to many video clips that we saw, to attack Youth 1. So this is where it gets interesting. Just like Pharaoh's cows, the builders, that is Youth 1, came, built such an asset of goodwill, built such an asset of intellectual, prowess. And then the Youth 2, just like Pharaoh's scrawny cows, came, swallowed up everything that Youth 1 had done. So the scrawny cows, which is Youth 2, ate up and swallowed the builders, which is Youth 1. This Youth 2, I would call the burners. They're the ones burning down everything. They burned down public property. They burned down the NPA. They burned down police stations. They burned down all kinds of places. Now, it turns out, Youth 1, therefore, that your greatest enemy, your greatest challenge is not the government. Your greatest challenge is Youth 2. These guys, who are going around and burning everything. And therefore, here are 2 things you must do. The 2 strategies. Number 1, if you are to win this war, you must reach out to Youth 2. You must reach out to these burners. You see, because they are very accessible to the government. Whatever you build, these politicians would use them to destroy. It's been happening. That's an ancient strategy. They keep doing that. In the north, they will use religion. All they need to do is tell somebody, somebody taught the Quran or something urinated in front of the mosque. By the time the wake of the crisis, after the wake of the crisis, thousands of people have been slaughtered by this same Youth 2. In the south, they will play up ethnic sentiments. Before you know it now, they will say, they will make it Yoruba versus Igbo fight, and then people will now slaughter themselves in Lagos. So reach out to this Youth 2. Use reverse psychology. There's a way, to work on the crowd mind, on the mind of the crowd. Reach out to them before the government reaches out to them, and let them know that All these people who are recruiting them to burn down everything, that their children are not here. Their children are not among them, among the people burning these things. All their children are somewhere in Saudi Arabia or in Europe or in America, somewhere, very, very safe. So every burning that they are doing, they are burning. We're actually burning ourselves. And then the burning needs to stop today. The burning needs to stop right now. The second part of the strategy, youth one, is to realize the source of the problem. The real monster in Nigeria predates the birth of your father and even your grandfather. It started right from the 1930s with the invasion from the north of Ottoman Dan Fodio. And then later that same century with the invasion of southern Nigeria by the British Empire, the then British Empire. And then that marriage of the British and the Caliphate gave rise, there's a lot of culmination to what became 1914 and to what eventually became the 1999 Constitution. And in that 1999 Constitution, all the problems that you're seeing in Nigeria are enshrined. It's amazing. A constitutional lawyer once showed me, and I was shocked. The corruption is in that document. The lack of infrastructure is in that document. You cannot develop. You cannot even, like they have these exclusive items. If you want to build, let's say, a railway, you can't because it's in the exclusive document. It's that same document that sequesters all your property, all the land in the country, and put it in the hands of few people that they call, the government. They are the ones who will give you C of O for your property. They are the ones who own everything under the ground behind your house, like you've seen in the Niger Delta and all that. So the problem is the 1999 Constitution. If we take it down, we will now have a chance as a country to define what we want, and then for each region to define the pace of their progress. Peace is more important. Justice is more important than killing and the killings that are going on everywhere. And then the North can have the chance to develop at their pace, and the South can have the chance to develop at their pace. Anything besides these two things I've told you is like that pregnancy that gives birth to fibroid. But I trust that you understand this and that we are going to work together to bring down the monster that is producing all these problems that we and then save the future for our children yet unborn. Now, whatever happens, keep showing up because you have no idea what's coming your way next, and watch this space for more. Bye for now.
And that's the advice there for Nigerian youth. Reach out to the poor youth, to the burners, to the second youth, the youth too, who is the burner. All right, people, you have been viewing Elumba Television with Angel Leader right here, talking to you about the advice coming from fellow Nigerians and how we can go forward and how we can grow beyond where we are today and have a good legacy. And of course, our generations unborn will be proud of Nigeria that the youth are building today. So, this is where we draw the curtains for today until we come your way again. Thank you so much for viewing. Just before I leave here, I'll tell you, head straight to Instagram. Follow our Instagram page, like our Facebook page as well, and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Turn on the notifications so you'll be the first to get every of our posts. Until I come your way again, stay safe. Thank you.